Hello there, everyone. I'm Bill, and I am not a senior in high school.
Hello, my name is Melanie, and I am a senior in high school.
Well, here we are. This is episode 2 of Crisis in America. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what is going on the rest of this week. We've had some escalation as far as the crisis in America, including a full-out, complete stay-at-home order here in Michigan. We're going to talk about what that's meaning for our life. And we're going to spend a little bit of time talking today about what it means for those who are seniors in high school with the end of the year activities. How you doing today, Melanie?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're making it, just sitting at the house, complete lockdown, all that good stuff. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's start a little bit. They did extend the closure of school here in Michigan for another week. It's looking more and more like a real possibility that senior activities are going to be postponed or delayed. Tell me what you're hearing and what you're feeling about that.
It's getting more nervous about whether or not we are going to go back or not. With spring break is canceled. The new cancellation doesn't really affect when we go back. It's just going through our spring break now instead of the closure and then spring break. So it's pretty much the same right now, but if it gets extended anymore, then it would start to interfere with stuff.
How are you feeling? Do you believe that most of your senior activities are still going to happen on time or not?
I don't think they're going to happen on time. Maybe graduation, but I think CPR will for sure have to be pushed back, and all the AP testing. College Board just released that all AP testing will be done at home, and it's going to be 45 minutes instead of the usual 2 or 3 hours.
So are people, our seniors kind of holding on to hope that everything's going to still happen, or are they starting to embrace the fact that it might not?
I think they're still hopeful. It's still another month away, but looking more on how China is just now starting to reopen, and they started in November, and Italy's not even close yet either. So I think looking at our projection and how it's following Italy, they're starting to realize that maybe we won't be going back.
Right. How devastated are people? I mean, senior year is a big deal. 2020, class of 2020. And there's a chance that graduations might not happen, at least as normal.
Yeah, I think people are really starting to get nervous, and it's starting to be a real discussion on what we're going to do and when it's going to be. The school district did say that graduation is still going to happen. It might not be when it's scheduled to, but they will have a commencement eventually.
So tell me a little bit, what are your friends saying right now? How are they feeling about the situation? One of the things that changed this week is our governor has issued a mandatory stay-at-home order for the next 3 weeks, which means essentially everyone is supposed to stay home. You're not allowed to leave the house unless you're going to get groceries, going to get gas, or if you're part of an essential business that has to stay open, then you're allowed to go back and forth to work. But other than that, you're not allowed to leave the house to participate in any kind of work activities or social gatherings. Tell me a little bit how that's impacting you and what other people are saying.
Other people are, I think this is what kind of made people start to realize that it's a big thing, that they can't leave anymore. I can still go to work because I work in food, but even that has changed a lot. People are going outside, I think, more and doing what they can still. I walked the dog the other day, and there was tons of people out, so.
So you work in food service, which is one of the essential types of businesses that is on the list. How are people to know that that's what you're doing? Do you get like a permission slip or something, or?
Yeah, I got a permission slip from work saying that I am an essential worker. It's issued to any law enforcement or government official. So they said if I get pulled over, then I can show them that, and I should be okay. I don't really know how that works.
A permission slip to go to work. Did you
Yeah,
think you'd ever see anything like that?
I did not think I would see anything like that.
Other people can be on the road. Have you been out? Is the traffic on the road the same? What's going on?
I feel like the traffic on the road is the same, especially because fast food is still open, so people can just go get food. You can go get groceries. Um, so don't think people are getting pulled over, really, at least not yet, because there's still so much you can do.
What are you seeing? Have you known anybody that's gotten sick yet? Have you heard of people getting sick? I know you live in one of the most affected counties in the state of Michigan. What are you seeing?
I don't know anybody personally who has been confirmed, but I do have a lot of friends who are self-quarantined because their entire family has fevers and coughs. So they're pretty sure, or I'm pretty sure that they have it, but they're obviously not going to be tested because they're not showing severe cases. I've seen Facebook posts of friends' relatives that have been sick and diagnosed, but I don't know anybody personally.
What's the biggest concerns right now?
Getting sick. I think people are most concerned now about getting sick, especially because so many people in the hospital are young, that people who once said that it wouldn't affect them are now thinking that maybe it will. Even people who are healthy have been having major and critical cases.
So there's already started to be a little bit of a shift from this is something that affects really old people and young people don't have to worry about it. So you're starting to see now with people who are seniors in high school, they are starting to become a little bit concerned that they themselves might actually become sick.
yeah, I think some people are starting to get pretty concerned. There's been a lot of confusion with school this week. Stuff has been sent home from the district level that wasn't sent to teachers. So then kids have different expectations than the teachers do. But other than that,
Give an example of that. What has there been a confusion over?
whether or not we can get credit is the big one. A lot of teachers are saying that we still have to do the assignments, and then the district sent home a thing saying that all of the work was going to be extra credit. So nobody really knows. But now I think towards today's Thursday, so now everyone's kind of starting to be on the same page that it is going to be extra credit.
So any work you're doing right now during this 5-week period, now that you guys are off, will be extra credit.
Yeah.
And are you guys still having classes at all? How are they getting that information to you? Are they doing it by email? I mean, not everybody has a phone and a computer. Are they doing Zoom classes or email? What's happening with your classes?
I think with classes, especially, they're doing Zoom calls when they can. My college advisor did one with the entire class, so that was kind of fun. We just kind of checked in, talked about how things were going, and she gave guidance to what colleges were doing. Teachers are emailing work and doing Zoom when they can, and just trying to offer supplemental activities for kids who want to keep doing stuff, I guess. They can't give much because a lot of kids who don't have internet aren't going to do it, and then when we go back, we have to somewhat be on the same page. But I think especially in AP classes, are trying to give as much study material as they can because kids want to take the test and do well.
So are the AP tests and all of your standardized tests still happening or not happening?
Standardized tests from the state of Michigan are not happening anymore, or from the federal level aren't happening anymore. But College Board is still doing AP testing and SAT testing. We don't know how SAT testing is going to work yet, but AP testing will be done at home. And it'll be no multiple choice, just one essay that you have to write. So that's a lot different than 2 hours of multiple choice and 3 essays.
So if they do close down the school for the year, if school is essentially over for the year, what are they talking about? What will happen with you as seniors? Will you just get your diploma and not have to take finals and stuff? Or have you talked about what the plan is, or nobody really knows?
I don't think maybe the district's talking about it, but nothing that we know of what they're going to do. Not that they're going to tell us, at least, because it is still, even after we go back, we'll have to cancel it for 6 more weeks for it to interfere with finals or anything like that. I'd like to go back, but I definitely don't want them to take us back just to take us back for the end of the year. I'd rather stay home and stay safe than to risk getting sick.
How's the overall concern and panic right now for you and for people around you as far as your own personal safety? What about supplies, basic things? What's a normal everyday life look like now compared to what it used to?
We have a lot more food in the house. That's one thing that's like really noticed every day. We ran out of Lysol cleaning spray, and we went to 20 stores to find just a can of spray. And so that's probably the most difficult thing, is just finding stuff. First it was toilet paper, now it's baking supplies. People are stocking up on flour and sugar just so they can bake at home, and you can't find anything like that either. The friends I still talk to. We haven't really done any large calls or anything like that, but except for the ones that the school does. So I think we're kind of just not really talking to each other that much. Everyone's posting what they're doing and kind of just staying home.
So anything else you want to add? Things that you've experienced this week, what your thoughts are this week? What would you like to say to your future self about week 2 of mandatory quarantine lockdown?
I'd like to say to myself that that it's actually a lot bigger deal than you might remember it as, and that it's affecting a lot. So,
Last week, I think it's a good way to kind of see where we talk about every week. Last week, we talked about on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being no concern, everyday life, 10 being full out panic, zombie apocalypse, let's go into the bunker. Where would you put fear and distress level right now?
I'd say probably a 7.
Oh, it's gone up, right?
Yeah, I think last week I said 5 or 6, but yeah, it's becoming pretty disruptive, and the fact that it is getting worse and colleges are starting to donate their science supplies to hospitals is kind of unsettling, especially because we just kind of started this pandemic. So to see how far it's going to go is kind of unsettling.
All right, I guess that's it for this week, week 2. The biggest thing that's changed this week as far as order is we are under that mandatory lockdown, so no one's allowed to leave the house. We are seeing more and more people, of course, being sick, but we still don't have an answer on graduation stuff. We still don't have an answer to a lot of the things, so we're hanging in there, doing well, seeing what we can do. Melanie, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Let's just hope we can go back to school on the 16th, I guess.
All right, until next time, everyone. See ya!
See ya.